meaning that they must be shaken up first. They must be like really, they must be scared into waking up basically and said, this shit is real, it's going on, it's awful. But then yet again, the other side to that is to not be stuck. I think what you're saying as well here, not be too mesmerized by only that, but actually to move on and to create a positive environment for yourself. Correct?
Yeah, yeah, it's the foundation to move from. I think it's a very needed part of the foundation that the people can move from to work a way out so we can find a better life here. These people are trying to centralize everything. We need to decentralize everything. We need to get back to the I envision a society or communities where you have a local farm by where maybe everybody in a community goes and works a couple days a week or out of the month. There's all these solutions out there, and there's people who are running things like CSAs now. There's all this positive stuff out there that's healthy for us and healthy all around, from ground up to the sky. And yeah, it's important to learn about all this stuff. I don't think so much that people need to be scared of it, but I also understand what you're saying when you say that, because what happens is when people start looking at it, I think it makes people face the fear within themselves.
Yes.
Because all this stuff that's out there in this world is really just a reflection of all the garbage that's within all the human beings and whatever else is here. When you want to talk about the alien thing, it's I know people have their ways of thinking about that, but honestly, from what I've looked at, I really feel at the top of this is some sort of alien thing that's going on here.
We don't know. That's the main thing here. I mean, we really don't know, and anyone who says that they're 100% certain, they're lying. That's it. We have to leave all the possibilities open here.
Yeah.
And we have to be ready for whatever it is that potentially is that we might find when researching and looking into these areas, and we might very well end up with an at least not if an alien being, at least an alien type of consciousness to the human mind, at least, that are at the top of things and are looking into this.
Yeah, I agree with you right there. The alien consciousness. I mean, I feel that the ego that's within all of us at this point. Not everybody. I'm sure some people have surpassed it, but not many of us. And I feel that is part of what you mentioned. You call an alien consciousness. I think it's some sort of a mental type of parasite that is kind of attached to us and is energetically passed around and feeds and keeps itself alive that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. It could be, as you said, it could be a kind of an artifact, if you will, of the human mind or the function of the brain at this particular point in our own path of evolution or what have you. It might also have been a very necessary process to have this type of ego development that we've had during this particular period in time or whatever. But right now it might be time to move away from that. I'm not sure here. I'm just speculating, obviously, but the most important thing is just to kind of observe really what the fruits of all of this is and contemplate, okay, are we moving into the right direction or the wrong direction here? And I feel that as things progress right now, we are definitely going down the drain, as it were. Unless that also, of course, is one of the main purposes of this particular transhumanist movement that we briefly talked about before, that the purpose here might be to offer, if you will, solutions to this very, very bad scenario that is playing out in the world, and that their solution might be that, okay, merge with a computer, go into an illusion, totally transform your life, live forever inside a mainframe somewhere that is totally safe within the confines of deep underground earth somewhere, and this will be great. That's the new way to go now, and that might potentially be something that people are willing to do if things get too bad here on the surface. I've no idea, but that's also a possibility.
It is. It is. But there's all these ways that all this stuff can go, and there's the deeper aspects of it, the darker sort of things, whether there's aliens or whether there's not, or into the deeper realms of the occult and all that type of stuff. But I think practically at this point, I think it's key to understand what's going on with their system, the main aspects of how they plug people in through resource control, and then how do we transition from their system and create new systems. I think that is probably the only way that we'll be able to break this sort of monster that's hanging over us at this point.
Mm-hmm. So AJ, why don't we, if you're up for it, if you have the time for us, what do you think? Do you want to continue talking a little bit more in the member section with us, and we can go into a little bit more of some of the, I guess, solutions that you've been looking into, and we can talk a little bit more about the housing, of course, but also about energy and off the grid in general. What do you think?
Yeah, it sounds good.
So in closing here on the first segment, part one here, tell us, of course, a little bit about your websites, One Heart Books, and also don't know if you want to mention it, but I guess you set up a website for when you worked for the honeybee guy, right?
Oh yeah, that was the last thing that I did for him, was straighten out his website, get it all looking uniform, and get some of his new products up there that he has, and just tidying everything up for him. Yeah. And that his website is 911honey.com.
What do you did he pick that name or did you?
No, he did.
Right.
Yeah, and he had it before September 11th, 2001 ever happened.
And what is 9/11 in his context? Do you know?
His context is for all your honey emergencies and bee pollen.
Okay.
Yeah, his main thing is like raw honey and bee pollen. So he's like, it's one of his taglines is for all your honey emergencies and all that type of stuff.
That's cool. So 911honey. Was it .com or .org or
.com?
.com. Okay, that's cool.
And
your website, of course, and you're still selling books, of course, and DVDs up there. Are you adding any new products and things like that?
No, I kind of backed off adding new stuff because I feel like there's a lot of information up there as it is, and I would like to put in like to add some other books, but I think at this point those books are out there, and if people want to find them, they can find them. I don't really need to sell them, and I'm trying to focus my attention now on getting ready for school, and also trying to learn these more primitive living off the land type of skills. But I still do run the bookstore. I still do keep stock and keep up with orders and stuff like that as they come in. But for me, it's like the bookstore isn't doing as much as I would like it to have sold, but it sold what it sold, and it sells what it sells.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine by me. The way things go is the way things go.
Sure.
But I mean, maybe if it was more busy and stuff like that, maybe I'd be more inclined to put more energy into it. But I just kind of feel that I'm moving away from that and just going off in this other direction. And I'll try and keep the bookstore open for as long as I can. When I go out to school, I'll have some people take care of it for me. And then when it just becomes a point where I can't take care of it anymore, I'll maybe just shut the bookstore down and keep the resources section up there and see what happens.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a natural process like anything. I mean, things grow, they wither, and they die. Everything has its life cycle. But again, I mean, it hasn't died. It's still there and it's still going. So I mean, for people who do want to check it out and get some of the titles of some of the excellent books that you have there, where they go to do that?
That's oneheartbooks.com. It's all spelled out, ONEHEARTBOOKS.com, COM.
Very good, oneheartbooks.com. So go over there and check a good look around. And as AJ mentioned, he has a resource section there as well. And also you have a few audio programs you've done, right? You have about 5 or 6 episodes up there right now.
Yeah, I've started to work on earlier this year something that I called Through the Looking Glass, and it was just going to be a natural progression of growing and moving forward. A lot of ideas that I had, and I just put up the 5th episode a couple weeks ago, and I've had a lot of time to work on it because I've been working up at the honey farm. So, and then with going off to school, I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with that, because after school, I think life's going to go off in a whole other direction. So that might just be the last episode, but yeah, it's if that's the last episode, then that's the way it was supposed to be, because I really didn't have a set thing that I wanted to do. But in the beginning of it, I thought it was going to be a much more bigger production than what it turned out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's cool. So it's up there anyway. Anyhow, for people that wanna check that out, obviously. But okay, let's end things here for this first part, and we'll continue here in our members section shortly. But thanks very much for this segment, AJ. Stay with us, and we'll be back after this break.
All right, thank you, Henrik. I appreciate it.
That's part 1 with A.J.Bruno, and we'll talk more now in our member section at redicecreations.com. So join us as we'll continue talking more about log houses, building log houses, and some of the practicalities of that. We'll talk more about free energy and living more off the grid, also about the New World Order and some of the scenarios that we might be looking here in the future years to come. I also want to remind you about Architects of Control. Our DVD is out now, and you can get your copy today simply by going to architectsofcontrol.com. More coming up now after the break.